Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 2 between Zpux and Bischu here on Kulas Ravine. We have Bischu spawning over here in the top left hand corner as the yellow Zerg player. Meanwhile, we have Zpux spawning on the top right hand corner as the red Zerg. So Zerg versus Protoss here on Kulas Ravine. Now, this is game 2 in a best of 3 matchup, and I believe Bischu was able to choose this map. If you haven't seen game 1, I'm sorry, I already spoiled it for you, but Bischu losing game 1 in this best of 3 matchup, so I believe he chose this particular map, Kulas Ravine. The reason why Protoss players and Terran players choose Kulas Ravine and as the game 2 map is because of this particular expansion. The natural expansion here is just so exposed. There's a very large opening here and also a very large opening here that you can use in order to be able to come in and just flank and surround this particular expansion. In addition, there is also this high ground over here, so stalkers are able to blink up here, zealots are able to destroy these destructible rocks on the back, and just basically punish a Zerg player if he does in fact try to go for a fast expansion. So Zerg players really limited. They do sometimes try to take this high ground with these destructible rocks, but it forces the Zerg player to really go roaches in this particular matchup, as Zerglings have a hard time taking these destructible rocks. Not enough, I guess, circumference, or not circumference, perimeter area for those Zerglings to really engage in melee damage. And on top of that, the 2 armor on those destructible rocks makes it very inefficient for Zerglings to try to take that down. Back over here, we already have a drone just doing a little bit of scouting. Both players trying to reveal as little as they can while that worker is still in that base. No gas yet for Zpux, so not exactly sure what that means. It could mean perhaps no roaches, or perhaps a massing of tier 1, so we'll see what Zpux really wants to do. Now getting a queen, so getting a queen, sitting on a fair amount of minerals as these units continue to push out. Single overlord coming in, and now we're seeing a cybernetics core from Bischu. So Bischu getting that cybernetics core, perhaps going for a dual gate with the robo bay if he does see a roach warren coming in. Probe now coming in, gonna go ahead and wander off over here and make sure that there isn't any sort of hatchery expansion. Wants to make sure that there wasn't no fast hatchery being placed down. And now, very nicely done, Zerglings coming in, gonna try to take down that probe, but however that probe will catch sight of this one particular hatchery. I believe it caught sight. Yeah, it was able to catch sight of that hatchery as it was being built, so those Zerglings did not get the job done. The probe was able to see that fast hatchery go down, and we'll see how Bischu responds. Bischu now getting a second zealot and also building a second pylon. No real signs of what exactly his tech is yet. However, he is going for that warp gate. So warp gate, he may be going for an all-in 4-gate strategy to try to counteract this hatchery. Zerglings, however, breaking through this back door now. So as you can see, these buildings take very little damage from these Zerglings. It will take them a fair amount of time to come through. Zerglings are not upgraded, obviously, as there's no evolution chamber, and I do not believe the speed upgrade has been researched either. No roach warren yet, so Zpux may just be trying to mass up and gather as many minerals as he can to get a very, very large Zergling army. In comes that probe. Probe, however, quickly taken down as those Zerglings making their way through those destructible rocks. Hatchery now completed, and 2 of those drones almost went the long way around before they started mining once again. Back over here, a single sentry trying to take down this one overlord. Overlord is in fact going to get taken down to 30 hit points, and down it goes. And as that overlord is taken down, we already see a robo bay coming in. So it is going to be 2-gate into a robo bay strategy, perhaps to try to counter those roaches, or perhaps to try to tech to Colossus and try to use that high ground to that advantage. Spine crawlers now being built by Zpux. Those spine crawlers having the added ability of being able to stand up and walk into a better position that allows a Zerg player to build a spine crawler as that creep is getting extended, and then perhaps move it out further if he does in fact want to have it moved out further. Spawn larva by that queen in order to increase the production of this single hatchery over here. If you take a look at the harvester count, Zpux already at 32 harvesters compared to Bischu's 28. Back over here, cybernetics core now trying to get that chrono boost, and now going to go ahead and warp these buildings into the warp gate. These destructible rocks, however, taking a fair share of damage as they're being warped in. So these destructible rocks going to get taken down. Zealot now trying to take down these destructible rocks as well. Zergling's not going to be able to push through that front door. I do not think that Zergling does see this robotics facility. Observer already up. Let me take a look. Do we see? No, does not see the Robo Bay. Probably knows that that's a gateway, but and that's pretty much it. Does not know that should know that the warp gate research has been finished. Zerglings, excuse me, still making their way through these destructible rocks. Overlord, Observer overhead, able to keep track of that building, and now single hatchery or 2 hatcheries in position, already teching the tier 2. Tier 2 finally being done, and now we have a Hydralisk then being put down. So as a Hydralisk then being put down, that's not going to bode well for these these immortals. Those immortals get a bonus damage towards armored units. However, those Hydralisks are not in fact armored. We have a couple speedlings already on the move as well, and we'll see what's going to really be happening here. Zealots only have to destroy one single set of destructible rocks. But however, Zerglings may be trying to come in, and yes, Zerglings are in fact able to run in as Bischu is caught sleeping, and all those Zerglings are going to be able to just tear apart these probes. However, no, those Zerglings, however, did not attack move, and now in comes this engagement. Zealot trying to do a little bit of engagement. Zerglings still running rampant through that base, and now hiding to this north side of the base. Perhaps will not be able to get any of an engagement on Zerglings. Once again, trying to come back in. Zealot and those probes able to just start attacking, and down goes those Zerglings. I do not think any real units were, or too many units were actually lost in that whole entire fight. Perhaps maybe 3 probes at the cost of almost a dozen Zerglings. Zergling now able to just start dealing damage to this Nexus, offering a very, very fair amount of scouting, and now in come these sentries. These sentries, however, may start attacking, and we'll see what's really going to be used. Not unable to really mine out of this high-yield mineral location. A lot of spine crawlers, wow. 7 spine crawlers, but more Zerglings coming into the base, and wow, not leaving this guarded by any means. So those Zerglings able to just run rampant, able to destroy whatever they want to. Zealot or sentries once again trying to come back in, and those 4 sentries now getting a couple force field down as well, trying to hide behind that as these 2 Zealots going to get quickly surrounded and taken down by these Zerglings. More probes now coming in. We have in fact a single immortal trying to engage these units, and more those Zealots trying to get in there as well. However, those Zerglings just still running rampant through that base, trying to take down some of these units, and they should finally get taken down to 1 final Zergling, and that Zergling has been pushed away. So Bischu taking some losses there. However, taking a look at the losses, Zpux has in fact lost more units. Harvester-wise though, Bischu in a little bit of a worse position, as Zpux is sitting on 46 harvesters. 46 harvesters, essentially mining out of all of these out of all 16 mineral patches. We do in fact have what, 3 spine crawlers sitting on this backside of this high yield mineral, or this natural expansion, excuse me, in order to gain some sight and be able to focus down any units that do in fact try to come up here. So both players perhaps trying to switch up their strategies just a little bit more, and now getting the robotics bay. So the robotics bay allowing Bischu to get those Colossus, and those Colossus with that upgraded range of 9 should be able to deal damage towards those spine crawlers before any of the rest of those units move in. Zpux countering with getting a hatchery on this high yield mineral location as well. That high yield mineral location offering 7 minerals instead of 5 per round trip. Back over here, Zpux moving around with that Overlord and trying to get some additional gas, or Bischu getting some additional gas, running off of 4 assimilators, Zpux running off of 4 extractors. So fairly interesting how this is all really working out, how it's all really coming down. Army-wise, Zpux sitting on the larger army and also having more harvesters just by a little bit. Now it looks as though Zplux's hatcheries has completely transitioned into getting as many units as possible. We have the groove spine upgrade for those Hydralisks, so those Hydralisks gonna get an additional range from 5 to 6. Zerglings now moving in on this backside, trying to take down these buildings, but those Zerglings have nowhere to go. Quick use of force field, and those Zerglings getting stuck in their tracks and getting taken down. So down they go. However, very nice use of force field, trying to split off these units. 2 Zealots gonna go ahead and try to take down those 2 Zerglings that are currently in that engagement there. May lose a couple of those probes, and down goes those Zerglings, however, as those Zerglings were not able to take down any of those probes. Right now, we already have that extended thermal lance research being upgraded, Colossus being built, and the level 1 ground weapons upgrade. Chrono boost still plentiful. at this stage in the game. Control Group 3 has only one single Nexus. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Bischu and Zpux here on Kulas Ravine.